What's up everybody, my name is Kingston and today we have with us a 2016 HP laptop. This is the HP ELiteBook 850G3 and you can see how it is. In this video we're going to find out if this machine is still very much relevant in 2025 going forward to 2026. Is it still relevant in terms of port, in terms of processor performance, in terms of body design? Let's dive straight into it and find out in the next few minutes. So first and foremost, have a look at the body chassis. On the top cover, we have carbon chassis that feels very strong. We have the traditional HP logo. And then at the bottom cover, we have magnesium alloy chassis that still feels very strong. Then it has those special rubbers that normally helps the laptop to maintain proper grip on the table, and they raise at a certain height so that at least you have proper ventilation underneath the machine. Now, apart from that, let's have a look at the ports. On the right hand side, we have the normal HP blue pin charger, the small one, the small pin. Then right over here we have a SIM card slot, so it means it supports SIM card capabilities to access internet. We have RJ45 port right over here. Then we have the docking port here. Right over here we have the USB 3.0 port, then audio port here, microphone jack combo. We have display port here. This is not HDMI, but display port. So in case you don't have HDMI, then you can use display port. I know most of us, we are at an age where almost each and every one of us is using HDMI port, but with this you can get a converter from HDMI to display port. We also have USB-C port here, Thunderbolt port. This port is so important because at least with this port you can also use it as display port instead of this port right over here. So you can use it to extend another display from this machine. You can also use this port to transfer data at high speeds to other peripheral storage devices. Then on the left hand side, there are not much ports. We have the ventilation slot, Kingston lock right over here, a VGA port, and then another USB 3.0 port, and a smart card reader right over here. I know most of us, we rarely use this, but it's crucial and it's important. It is important for business professionals. That's why HP ELiteBook by design, they decided to inculcate this on their machines. Then on the keyboard side, you can just have a clear look at it. This is how the trackpad is. It is quite big. We have two click pads right on top, and then at the bottom, we have a glass surface trackpad right over here. The keyboard is quite big. Remember, this is HP ELiteBook 850G3, and that means the 5 in the 850 stands for the screen size. So we are having a very big screen size here of 15.6 inch. That is how it looks like. And then with the keyboard, this is how the keyboard design is. You can see we have the numerical keys right over here, and then the standard keys on this left hand side of the keyboard. Now, such a keyboard layout is normally important for those people who are doing maybe statistical and data analysis, who normally prefer using these numerical keys. That's why it's advantageous for them. You notice something with this keyboard, we have the backlit icon right over here, so it means it still supports backlit. Nonetheless, look over here, we have fingerprint scanner, so it still has those advanced security features that you might need even in a modern day machine. Over here we have hotspot icon and speaker mute icon, so it means maybe when you want to mute the machine, instead of struggling to locate other keys, just press on the button shortcut right over there. That is how the screen size is. I know the bezel is quite big, not as it is in these modern day machines. Despite the bezel being big, we have a big screen right over here, so it means it has not eaten so much on the screen size we have. At least you still have a big screen. Then over here you see it's written Bang & Olufsen, so it means the sound system of the speakers and the sound engineering of this machine, it's supported by Bang & Olufsen. Therefore, we have very good speakers on this particular machine. Now let's turn it on and see how fast it takes to turn on, and we have a look at the internal properties. Remember, as it turns on, it's Core i7 right over here. You can use your heartbeat to count. I think we are less than a minute in, and now that's a minute. Yeah, so that is like 1 minute and 15 seconds for it to boot up, which is not that slow. Considering this is a 9-year-old machine, so that's still fast, and it means it's still so much applicable in the modern day. Now for the properties, remember this is HP ELiteBook 850G3. The one that we're having, it's i7 version, but we still have i5 versions. Have a look at the internal specs. We have i7 6600U CPU. It's an ultra processor. It's i7. We have a base speed of 2.6 gigahertz. Over here we have all the detailed storage. Currently installed, we have 256 GB SSD. And something that I normally love about this machine, it's unfortunate that I'm not going to open the bottom cover, but right around this place here, we have another storage space that is available. So despite having the SSD, you can also add another SSD here, SATA 2.5 or SSD or HDD to this particular slot we have right underneath it on the motherboard side. So it means it's an hybrid type. You can upgrade the storage you have here to the maximum, and then you add another storage. So it means its storage capability is quite high. And then for the RAM, we currently have 8 GB of RAM installed, and that is not enough. If you come to the task manager right over here, where we normally have, let me just maneuver to more details, then under performance here, then I love using the task manager to check the properties of machine, because this is where you see all the details. Now have a look at the CPU. The base speed is 2.8 gigahertz actually. Then we have 2 cores and 4 logical processors, which is not that bad. I understand most of the modern day machines have 8 cores and above, but now we're having 4. It's not that slow for an entry level machine, and then considering the price tag, because it's around 200 USD, that is not quite bad. And then for the memory, what I was talking about, have a look at the memory slots used, the number of slots used here. We're having 1 slot used out of 2, so one of the slots has 8 GB of RAM. It means we have another slot that you can add another RAM to make it 16, or you can remove the 8 GB of RAM we have here, replace it with 16, and then the other empty slot here, another 16, so to make it 2 GB of RAM. And remember, this particular machine uses DDR4 RAM, which is still applicable in all these modern day machines like the 11th gen, 13th gen. They're still using the same RAM as the one we have right over here. So it's something quite complementary. And even the RAM speed here, it might be low, but you can upgrade it to a RAM that has higher speed. And for the disk, as we talked about it, you can see here the type is SSD. We have 256 GB SSD. And then GPU, we have Intel HD 520 graphics GPU, which is not quite bad for entry-level gaming. It can still handle entry-level AutoCAD softwares. So it's still quite a powerful machine that can handle most of the tasks. And remember, we're in an era where we have AI-dominated applications. And what I love about AI-dominated applications is that you don't need to have a very powerful machine for you to run those applications, because AI actually does all these like the rendering or the hard task that you'll have done with a powerful machine. You can do those tasks with just an affordable machine like this one. For the screen, you can see how the screen is. It's not the best. The resolution is quite low. And just to confirm with that, come to display setting, and you can see the resolution is just Full HD 1920 by 1080. It's not the best, and even the viewing angles are just perfect and normal. I think we can still do with these in this modern day, unless you are so sensitive with resolution, you want something better than this, then you'll have to go for a high-end one. Otherwise, having looked at it at that angle, it's quite okay. And then one thing I was forgetting is, remember, we are currently running Windows 10 on this particular laptop. You can see here the operating system installed, the Windows 10 Pro. And that does not mean it's final. Officially, this laptop supports Windows 10 Pro, and for Windows 11, for your machine to support Windows 11, you have to have something here under the device manager. Check for the TPM module. So under security here on the device manager, security module right over here, you see we have TPM 1.2. So it means it can't officially support Windows 11, but we can still be able to maneuver and bypass Windows 11 on this machine, but that means it will run unofficially. And still you can be able to upgrade or update the softwares and run all the latest softwares on this particular machine after bypassing the Windows 11 setup or installation. So the only weakness I think we have on this machine is its inability to run Windows 11 officially due to the TPM module 1.2, because remember Windows 11 it's supported by TPM module 2.0 and above. Otherwise, in terms of RAM, processor and the rest, it's still quite okay. Again, another disadvantage might be it's quite bulky due to the size being 15.6 inch, but that is something that you can overlook if you are mainly concerned about the performance and the number of ports you're getting, because we have all the ports that you'll want in a machine. You have the USB 3.0 ports, you have the USB Type-C port. We only don't have the HDMI port, but still we have all the other ports that you'll want in a machine. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this HP ELiteBook 850G3. Will you give it a chance, or will you look for something else? If you had 200 USD with you and this is a machine that you had to spend the money on, will you go ahead and get it, or will you get another one? See you next time on another review. Don't forget to leave a like on this particular video, and don't forget to subscribe for more reviews like this one. Bye bye.